And Chris, I mean, you must have been heartened by some of the reports that have been coming out of the UK, also France and other countries saying that, much of this medicalization that you describe is unnecessary and often very fraught. Are you a bit surprised that Australia seems to be so keen to shut down any discussion of some of these sorts of reports that are coming from medical authorities and legislative review committees and things like that in other countries?
That's right. All of my views are common sense, and they've all been backed up by every medical body in the world that has ever conducted a systematic review of all of the scientific literature. So in England, Dr. Hilary Cass, a lifetime pediatrician, not a politician, just conducted a 3.5-year review. She's released this 388-page report, basically backing up everything that I've just said, that puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, they weren't helping these children psychologically. So they're putting an end to that there in England. They're stopping it in Scotland, Finland, Sweden. We've seen progress in Germany, Norway, Denmark. Even the Academy of Medicine in France has said it's impossible to tell which of these children will grow up and out of their gender dysphoria. But we know historically from all the academic studies that were done before puberty blockers were given that the vast majority of these kids just outgrew this. This was a phase. But here in Australia, of course, they're led by the Labour Party right now, and all these left-wing parties are pushing this. No matter what evidence you present to them, they just double down and keep trying to do this more because they're not interested in truth, they're interested in virtue signaling.
Well,
Rita.
you are right. Australia is now an outlier. We are not even having a review of what's happening at these gender clinics, including at children's hospitals. What's your message to parents who are concerned? Because a lot of times this sort of craziness is led by certain activist parents who've got an ideology they want to push. But then there are just regular parents who see their kids impacted by this, whether they're seeing it on TikTok, whether they're seeing it in the schoolyard. What's your advice to parents?
So parents need to have these conversations at an age-appropriate level with their children, because if they don't, someone else is going to be having these conversations with them first. So when your kids know the truth, when they understand that they're beautiful just as they are, and these lies come for them, telling them that they might be trans just because they're a bit different, well, they'll have that shield of truth already with them. And overwhelmingly, the kids we see ending up at these gender clinics are on the autism spectrum. A lot of them have suffered sexual abuse or trauma. There might have been events in their family. These are kids in state care who are wildly overrepresented. It's all the struggling kids. So parents just need to really work with their bond with their children, because kids don't want to disappoint their parents, and be present with their kids. I would say the best thing you can do is read to your kids every night, because you improve your bond that way and you find out what was going on during the day. But just be aware and have conversations with the teachers and tell them you're not okay with them teaching gender ideology.
Rita?
And we're seeing now, we've got a lot of detransitioners who are coming forward. Some are launching legal action, but just also from reading the reports on what's gone wrong, these poor kids who are, as you say, a lot of them have got all sorts of other issues and are certainly gender confused, they're submitting to treatments that are leaving them sterile in some cases, loss of sexual function. I mean, how can a 13, 14-year-old possibly give informed consent for medical treatments that are going to leave them sterile as an adult?
Well, they can't. And never mind the 13 or 14-year-olds. This is being done to 10-year-olds, because puberty blockers are given, the scientific term for it, they're given at Tanner stage 2. So this is maybe a couple years before girls have had their first period. They're going to be 10, 11, 12 years old, these girls and boys. And of course, they can't understand what they're signing up for. The president of the World Professional Association for Transgender Health, Marcy Bowers, this is a man who says he's a woman. He admits that literally none of the boys who started on puberty blockers at Tanner stage 2 have been able to have an orgasm as an adult. They're sterilizing and maiming kids and turning them into lifelong pharmaceutical patients. And we're to believe that this is love and helping them to be who they really are. Who they really are is a girl or a boy. And they don't have to conform to sexist regressive stereotypes. We should just tell them they're beautiful just as they are, because this whole ideology has been pushed by activists, not by science. And it's been a way to justify what some adults have going on by way of turning this into a whole worldwide movement. But it's all based on a lie.
Absolutely. And the tweet that you put out there was questioning the World Health Organization's experts on this very topic, and that was fairly concerning issues about who the World Health Organization, what processes they are putting in place and why, and who they are listening to. And you had more to say on that. But we're just run out of time, but I think you've answered our question beautifully, Chris. about censorship. And the whole point about censorship, as the Rolling Stones and every rock group ever knew, get banned and you get popular. More people want to see what the authorities don't want you to see. And you're living proof of that. You're a rock star now. I bet you never thought you would be a rock star, but you're a rock star in Australia because they tried to ban you. The lesson is there for the authorities. Ban someone and more people will want to hear it, and because free speech is the most precious gift we have in democracies. Chris Elston, Billboard Chris, thanks so much and enjoy the rest of your time in Australia. Where can people see you if they need to see you?
Follow me on X or Instagram at Billboard Chris, and I also have a website, billboardchris.com.
Fantastic. Chris Elston, Billboard Chris, thank you very much.